Hey guys, Cedric here with my good friend
Sora.
for Team BBN, coming to you today at the lovely, illustrious Cards and Games in Forest, New Jersey. Today, my good friend Sora here is going to give you the deck word for his disgusting
Bermuda Triangle Reindeer deck.
anyone who plays Bermuda Triangle is a sinner. I will stand by that comment to the day I die.
It doesn't matter how old it is, huh?
No, I will be dead, and that thing will still carry up to the heavens. Not to see the heaven.
Alright.
Because y'all fish can't reach us.
Alright.
Anyway, my friend Sora's going to give you the deck profile. Take it away.
Alrighty.
Sinner.
Well, we're going to start this thing off with a starter. Restful Music Roomy. If you all thought I was playing Highlander, wrong.
Go to hell.
Hell no. I've been there. It's actually kind of enjoyable around this time.
Highlander is bougie. You know what I mean?
Ignore him. He's just salty. So, Restful Music Roomy. Simple starter, Forerunner. One of the oldest skills in the book. When you write it, it moves to a rearguard circle from your soul. Its rearguard skills are very powerful for this deck, since this deck focuses around grade 3s. Especially when drive checking them, as you'll see soon enough. Its primary skill that you'll be using its Forerunner is its drop and draw skill, which quite literally it is choose a grade 3 from your hand, discard it, and draw a card. The second skill is also very important since it allows you to recur your grade 3s, but only some of them. Whenever you drive check a grade 3, take a unit, yes, unit, with Reindeer in its card name from your drop zone and put it into your hand. Simple enough. Moving straight into the some of the grade 3s, since I do play grade 3 Heal Guardians in this deck. We play 4 Peaceful Voice Reindeer. And then 3 V-Era Velvet Voice Reindeer. And 1 G-Era Velvet Voice Reindeer. Nobody's playing this deck. Don't expect anybody to be playing this deck at a national tournament. I play this deck mostly for fun. That stated, everybody is familiar with Velvet Voice Reindeer from V-Era. Most people aren't familiar with Velvet Voice Reindeer from G-Era or beforehand. Its first iteration was quite simple. When you drive check a grade 3, while it is your vanguard, you take a rearguard, bounce it to your hand, and then call a card from your hand to an open rearguard circle. GRS slightly expands on this. Only slightly, because it goes into a different direction afterwards. When it is revealed during your drive check, discard a card from your hand, give a Reindeer on your vanguard or rearguard, plus 5,000 and plus 1 crit. Its other skill is when you stride over it, does not matter what you stride, your vanguard gets the ability, every single time you drive check a grade 3, all of your units on your rearguard circles gain power plus 5,000 until end of turn.
I just came back with all this discussion.
Ignore him, he's salty.
Listen here. Hey, you know what? Now I'm having gang all the way.
Then you have no complaints over this.
But this is the one thing I despise about leave me alone. Finish the video.
I will as a matter of fact. So, 3 copies of Velvet Voice Reindeer from V-Era. Everybody's familiar with this, but for those who may not know, while it is revealed by a card's effect, it's regarded as a trigger unit instead of a normal unit. This is specifically during search effects that reveal cards from the top of your deck. And then its Vanguard skill is at the end of the battle that it attacks, you can pay the cost of discarding 2 cards from your hand. You reveal the top 10 cards of your deck, and if all of the normal units, not all units, all normal units revealed have different card names, you write up to one of those revealed cards that does not have the name Velvet Voice Reindeer as stand, and then shuffle your deck. That unit that you ride gets drive -1 until end of turn. At the end of the turn, you put that unit on the bottom of your deck, and you ride this unit as a grade 3. And then you ride any grade 3 that is in your soul from that point. It can be Velvet Voice Reindeer, it can be Perfect Performance Edge if you have that in your deck, whatever you choose. That's not the main combo, that's part of the combo play, but it's not the main combo play. The main combo all relies on this little lady right here. Peaceful Voice Reindeer. Peaceful Voice, since most people won't know, has an auto pull on Vanguard Circle. Once per turn, when you drive check a grade 3 while she is on Vanguard, you take a card from your hand and put it into your soul. Choose one of your rear guards, return it to your hand, and if there's a Velvet Voice Reindeer either in your trigger zone or in your soul, then she gains an extra drive check. The skill that you want to be using is her rear guard skill. At the end of the battle that your drive check revealed a card with Reindeer in its card name. If this unit is standing, you pay the cost of Counterblast 2. If you do, move it to your Vanguard Circle, and it gets drive -1. We'll come back to the move part in a little bit, because that is very important for a very special combo.
Why are you looking at me after you said it? I just ended that.
What?
Pretty sure don't look at me. I don't need this.
This is your rewrite mechanic, though I hesitate to call it a rewrite. At least not by technical terms. Please, shush your tush.
Sweet, you said shush my tush.
I said shush your tush. Mr. Salt Man. Going into the grade 2s.
You're a salty one. You're from the sea. You don't want to talk about some salt water.
No, I'm from the void. Get it right.
Then you play Link Joker, not the Bermuda.
You don't understand what the void is like, do you? Joking, Cedric. I'm joking. Relax.
No, you're not.
Relax.
Oh, God. Oh, wow. Don't that chip. Finish the video.
So, these are our grade 2s. This deck is incomplete. I'm still fine-tuning it. Right, I know.
Did you make a bubble sound?
Maybe. No, I went more like a sort of like a motorish sound. I know you're imagining a motorboat right now.
I'm gonna move over there. I'm gonna move.
I'm joking. Relax. I'm finishing the video. So, one of the primary, all three of these are useful in their own way. We're going to start with this one right here. Inspect Sisters, Rebel. In the trigger zone. For those of you who don't know, Vanguard has a trigger zone. If you have a Vanguard with Reindeer in its card name, this card gains grade +1. That's important because all of your drive checks being grade 3s is crucial for the deck to function. That said, its rearguard skill is put this unit onto the bottom of the deck and Soul Blast 1. When its attack hits, if you have a Vanguard with Reindeer in its card name, you can pay the cost. If you do, draw 2 cards and shuffle your deck. So essentially, she recycles herself each time you activate her skill. That said, don't rely too much on the second skill to go off. hope you get the first. This deck is very RNG heavy, so don't be surprised if things don't work out. That said, Idol Melville. It only has a Vanguard skill. Choose one of your Bermuda Triangle rearguards, return it to hand. When this unit's drive check reveals a grade 3, a Bermuda, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose up to one Bermuda Triangle from your hand and call it to an open rearguard circle. This is part 2 of a special little combo I have with this one. Okay? Keep it in mind. And then finally, we have China Silguda Lapla. Very simple rearguard skill. When your drive check reveals a grade 3 while you have a Reindeer Vanguard, you can Soul Blast one, call a card to rearguard as stand, and both that unit and this unit gain plus 2,000 power. Short, sweet, to the point. You don't want to use the skill too often because the deck does have a soul issue. That said, if you're really good at managing your resources, then by all means, use it. Especially if you see a grade 3 Reindeer in your drive checks and you have Peaceful in hand. I'll get into the Spice combo later on. This is not how I would do this one. Moving into grade 1s now, as well as one of our grade 0s. Again, deck is not complete. Dash Sisters Rebel. Raindear Steza at 3. Transcend Idol Aqua at 4. And one of the weird grade 0s. Max Cully. Max out Cully's skill activates when you drive checker. Just put a unit, specifically a trigger unit, from your drop zone on the bottom of your deck. That's it. All she does. Raindear Steza. For those who don't know, at the end of the battle that it boosted a Vanguard, you can retire her to draw a card. Then, you may Counterblast 1 and put a grade 3 card from your drop zone on the bottom of your deck. That means you can put, in order to draw a card. That means you can place a grade 3 normal unit, a grade 3 trigger unit, or a grade 3 order from your drop zone on the bottom of your deck. All for the low cost of blowing her up and counterblasting 1. Seems solid, at least to me. Transcend Idol Aqua is a slightly different perfect card. Instead of discarding the card from your hand in order to use your skill, you instead place the card from your hand into your soul. This helps a little bit with the soul issue that I mentioned earlier, though it does not do a huge amount. If all of your sentinels are hurt, then you can play up to 6. I only play 4 because deck needs more tuning. That said, her sentinel skill will, if you have 2 or more sentinels in your drop zone, it guards all of your rear guards when you use the sentinel skill. That means if the opponent's Vanguard is, say, Gilgal, and you already have 2 sentinels in your drop zone, put her down, card into soul, your whole field can no longer be hit by a Gilgal. Pretty solid card. Finally, Dash Sisters Rebel. She has a similar skill to Inspect Sister's Robel in that while she is in the trigger zone, if you have a Vanguard with Reindeer in its name, she gets grade +2, making her a grade 3 as well. Her rearguard skill is when your drive check reveals a grade 3 card while you have a Reindeer Vanguard, you may put her on the bottom of the deck in order to draw a card, shuffle the deck, and countercharge 1. A very, very powerful recycling grade 3 drive check. Very powerful. Very, very useful for her cost recursion. And now, we move into triggers. I have 3 Dinky Coast Para, 3 of our grade 3 Hill Guardian. Excuse me. 4 and 4. Not bad. 4 Shoo Shoo Roberta for Countercharge and Soul. 3 Vanilla Crits because I had to fill out a trigger slot somehow. And then a singular Baby Unit over trigger. Roberta is simple. You call her out, put her into Soul, countercharge a card. That's it. Nice, short, simple, to the point. Everybody's familiar with the Heal Guardians. We've used them a lot. For those who may be tuning in for the first time, when placed on G from hand, G meeting the Guardian Circle, if you did not ride a grade 3 or greater unit this fight, you perform one of the following. You choose one of your Vanguards and give it plus 10,000 power until end of turn, or choose one of your opponent's units and it gets its critical -2 until end of battle. When she is placed on rearguard from hand, if your damage zone has no cards, you take the top card of your deck and you put it into your damage zone, essentially giving you a counterblast. The fact that it is a grade 3 is fantastic for this style of Reindeer deck. And it's also very imperative that you keep in mind that this says ride. Okay? I'll explain momentarily. Dinky Echo's Para, very simple. Just like Dash Sisters Rebel and Inspect Sisters Robel. If she is in the trigger zone, while you have a Reindeer Vanguard, she gets grade +3, making her a grade 3 as well. She also is a 5,000 power crit. That's okay. It's more important that she becomes a grade 3. Overtrigger for Lyrical, and by extension Bermuda Triangle, is simple. During the fight, if you manage to drive check it, you, the player, get, during your turn, all of your rearguards get plus 10,000 power. Short, simple, to the point. It's very similar, in fact, to G-era Velvet Voice Reindeer. The only difference, I believe... Nope. All rearguards. Never mind. Don't mind me. Sometimes we all make mistakes. Like I constantly do with playing this deck. I'm kidding, of course. It's a lot of fun. We'll take these out. Moving into the G zone, we have 4 Song of Gracious Reindeer, our main stride for the deck. 4 School Etoile Olivia, the secondary stride of the deck. 1 Perfect Performance Ange,
Oh God. Give me flashbacks.
2 legendary idol Riviere, 1 Shushu popular favorite Tarua, and 2 hand-in-hand Leonis. I will turn these around, that way you can see.
There we go.
There we go. So our main stride, simple yet very powerful. Every time you drive check a grade 3, you counterblast 1, soul blast 1, flip a copy of her face up, choose up to 1 of your rear guards, return it to your hand. She gains plus 3,000, plus 1 drive, until end of battle.
So Dimension Police, got it. Dimension Police.
Essentially, Dimension Police. The closest you could compare it to is Dimensional Robos.
I was thinking of X. What? See, this is why I don't like BB. So besides getting extra markers and being able to get, I can get Protect, XL, and Force. I can now do deep. Yep, there we go. There we go. Just when I couldn't like the planet anymore.
Would you believe me if I told you that Dimensional Robos were not the first deck with this gimmick, and that this was the first deck with the gimmick?
Another reason I don't like Bermuda Triangle. Another reason I I believe you. If we were joking right now, I'd be like, I believe you. Yep.
The worst part is, I'm actually serious.
I believe you.
School of Twal Olivia, for those who do not know. When Chewy attacks a Vanguard specifically, if you are a GB2, Generation Break 2, meaning you have a G unit face up already, while she is on Vanguard, you counterblast 1, choose a copy of her that's face down, flip it face up, choose up to 5 of your rear guards. If all of them have different names, you return all of them to hand. If 3 or more are returned, you choose up to 2 cards from your hand, call them to separate rear guard circles in different rows, so you get 1 front row and 1 back row, and she gains plus 1 crit until end of battle. Perfect Performance Ange, for those who do not know, is an act skill, so this is not during combat, or during battle, excuse me. Counterblast 2, at GB2, so same thing as here, choose a face down card with the same name, excuse me, this is a misprint. Choose a G unit from your G zone and turn it face up. You choose any number of any player's rear guards, any player's cards in any circle other than Vanguard, return them to hand. She gains plus 5,000 until end of turn for each card returned. If the number of cards returned is 5 or more, you draw a card. If the number gets up to 7 or more, she gains an extra drive check. You use her mainly to change up your board state. Not much use outside of that. There is a use inside of the luck matchup because you target the card, not a unit. Shushu Tarua, Shushu popular favorite Tarua. I actually misplay a lot with this card. You choose a face down, her first skill is an act once per turn. Choose a face down card from your G zone, turn it face up. She gets all the units with Shushu and their card names in your front row, get plus 5,000 for each open rear guard circle. I actually misplay hard in the match by not using this skill. Her second skill is auto once per turn at GB3. At the end of the battle that she attacks, you choose up to 3 of your rear guards and put them all on the bottom of your deck. If you put 3, then you restand her and she gets drive -2. So she is a restander that gains a lot of power. assuming you don't misplay. Going into Legendary Idol Riviere. Act skill, once per turn, counterblast 1, choose a card with her name, flip it up. Choose up the same number of rearguards as the number of cards in your soul with Riviere in their card names, and they get power plus 5,000 until end of turn. If you have 3 or more cards face up in your G zone, you get to draw a card, and she gains plus 10k and a crit. The first half of that skill is not relevant in this deck at all, because I don't play any sort of Riviere in this deck. The main draw is the second half, though it's still mainly filler. I'm waiting for more units to be released specifically. And then our lonely 2 G guards. Hand in Hand Leona.
You play 2 G guards?
I didn't have all of the G guards during the match, so unfortunately this is what I had to deal with.
And you won.
That was a very hard fought match.
Doesn't matter, you won. You made it disgusting. Sick.
Anyways, when you discard a heal trigger from your hand to place her on the Guardian Circle, you choose one of your rear guards and you may return it to your hand. If you do, choose another card from your hand and then call it to Rearguard Circle. If they have the same name, then that unit gets shield plus 5,000 until end of battle. It's a simple effect, combos very well with High Society Citron, which places a card from your hand onto your rearguard circles in order to gain shield. So, why play this deck? If you feel like going insane with how many times the drive check is not a grade 3, then have fun. Otherwise, let's just say you're in for a time. That stated, let's move into what I've been hinting at for a while now, specifically with riding versus moving. So, Omnia Viscint Armor Benedetta, the grade 3 heal guardian. It specifically states ride. Everybody understands this. Velvet Voice Reindeer is not a ride. Her second skill specifies move. Most people would think that that is actually a ride, but in truth it isn't. Because a ride is from a non-rearguard circle, a non-circle, to a circle. So, keeping this in mind, if you somehow drive check one of these 7, while having a Peaceful Voice Reindeer out on field, which is possible, Reindeer gives you now have the ability to use the effect of the grade 3 heal guardians while you are on grade 3. The chances are low. It's roughly 16%. But in this deck, 16% may as well be black magic. So what do you need for this? What we need is IntelliIdol Melville as our vanguard. Peaceful Voice Reindeer in our hand. at least one reindeer in deck. At least one. We need a unit on a rearguard circle. Doesn't matter which unit. Can even be the starter. As a matter of fact, it probably will be the starter that gets bounced. And 2 counterblast. Your drive check reveals a grade 3 a reindeer. Activating Intelliidal Millville skill. Return your rearguard to your hand. Call Peaceful. Peaceful doesn't care when the reindeer was drive checked. Only that a reindeer was drive checked at all. End of battle. Doesn't matter if this hits or not. Activator's skill. Counterblast 2. Move to Vanguard Circle. Not ride, not place, not put, move. You now have simultaneously gotten to grade 3 while still matching the condition for her Benedetta. Thus cheating rules. Without actually cheating rules.
I object.
This is the only deck that is capable of doing this. I will tell you right now, it's not going to get you wins. Again, the chances of this happening, 16%. And Vanguard, that's decent odds, but it's not enough to go crazy over. That said, if you do manage to drive check G-Era Velvet Voice, then this attack is swinging with an extra crit. It's 1 drive check, but you're swinging with an extra crit. Your main combo in this deck is going to be having any reindeer on your Vanguard Circle, ridden or otherwise, striding into Song of Bracious, and just by the end of the turn, or by the end of the attack, having Peaceful Voice out on field with 2 open counterblasts, so that way you can just move it to Vanguard Circle. And that's essentially it. There are multiple cards that I do not have on me that I would rather have in this deck. One of them is Multiple Shine Murata, which is when you ride her, counterblast 1, draw a card, search top 7 for a grade 2, ride it, shuffle deck, and it can loop onto Murata. So if you manage to hit all 4 Muratas, congratulations, you've built up soul. Though how you managed to have 3 counterblasts by that point, maybe you got rushed. Maybe. Other than that, build it how you want. And that's it.
You're evil. You're evil.
I'm not that evil. I'm not that evil.
Oh, yeah, right. Ruby is a wholesome deck. Yeah, right.
Oh, I'm not calling this deck wholesome.
Okay,
This
good.
deck drives me insane.
And that's the end of the deck profile, guys. Thank you guys for listening to once again, thank you to my friend Sora for taking the time to show us this monstrosity mess. Anyway, like and subscribe. Any questions you got or any advice you want to give us, put it down in the description below. Alright, guys. Peace.